everybody. Welcome back to the Purple Podcast. This is now episode number 10. It's been a little while, guys. Hope you've been doing well at home. I've just gotten over a sickness, and actually the person across from me has as well. I'm joined in the booth tonight by Owen Weiss again. Welcome.
That is correct. We did pick up COVID in Dallas. That did happen, but we're all good. All better now.
It was one of those things that, maybe it was a little, poor judgment, but I think we were well aware of what we were getting ourselves into. And you know what? Came back with it. We're all good now. And I guess that's all we'll really say about that. But here we are tonight. It is Sunday night. I'm honestly not aware of the date. Do you know the date right now, Owen?
It's the 9th.
The 9th. So it is January 9th. A lot of playoff football going on. We got a video rolling right now, and if that ends up going up at any point, you'll see football in the mirror because we're in the dining room right now. We're in no studio. But anyways, playoff football tonight, or I guess some implicating games considering playoff football. But I think most spots are pretty much clinched at this point. Titans coming away with number 1. They played the Texans today. That one was a little close in the beginning, but ran away with it. How about them Jags, though?
Yeah, the Colts really fucked it up.
Yeah, they, going into the last game of the week, of the season, and if you win, you're in. You know you have the Jags, who just lost 50-3, I believe, to the Patriots. Pretty bad look to come out and then lose that last game when you could literally have been playing playoff football if you would have won.
Yeah, it's essentially a playoff game for them. It was in Indy, right? Or was the game in Jacksonville? I'm not sure.
Let's see.
Either way, it doesn't really matter. You should never lose to the Jags.
Nope. The Dolphins did this year, but
that was a London game.
That was a London
game.
Doesn't
really count.
They're the Jaguars there, so they're a completely different breed, a completely different team. Over under how many years until that is their home team there? I can't see it ever happening.
Yeah, I think they could move out of Jacksonville, but I don't know if they go to London. Is that what the NFL is trying to do? Have they talked about putting?
I know there has been consideration for a London team, and that's why they even, I guess, maybe play those games each year to one grow the audience there, but they could very well host. Go international. That'd be crazy.
They would never get a free agent. Can you imagine having to go to London? Have travel there and back every other week? That would be miserable.
That's the biggest issue is home and away games. Your team is going to be feeling that season a lot more.
Yeah, going from Los Angeles to London, that's got to be
I mean, you could even go. You could go like about each way. You could go the other way around the globe. But yeah, that'd be a tough one. But it would be very cool, I guess. They play in Wembley normally, I think there. But Titans at 1, Chiefs appear to be at 2. And the way things are shaping up now, the Bills are beating the Jets. I believe the Dolphins are still up on the Pats, so I don't think it mattered either way. If the Bills won, I think they won the division anyways. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter. But the Bills were to lose and the Patriots won, then the Patriots would have taken the division. But saying that, the Patriots are in as well, the Bengals. And then this last game is actually very funny because I think if the Chargers and Raiders were to tie,
yeah, that is correct.
They both go in, but that's the only way. The Steelers, who could not be out or not be in now, is if that game is a tie and they both go in, which is crazy.
Odds of that happening pretty low, but
what would the repercussions be for intentionally tying a football game?
Didn't play?
Yeah.
Oh, man, they would lose draft picks or something. There's no way Goodell would let them do that.
No, there's no way they would. Before we get too far into this, let's do a little clinky. I know you don't have any wine. It is a Sunday night, but I'm having a glass. I haven't drank in a while. A while being last night, but
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure I had a margarita with you at dinner last night.
It wasn't a good one either. I think I'm off margaritas now.
It's not
I just don't think they always come back too syrupy, man, or something, and it just doesn't. It doesn't.
Too much sugar.
Too much sugar.
Yeah.
And I typically like fruitier drinks. Maybe it's the lime. I'm not a big lime fan either, so a different flavor would do me better. But I think just in the end that syrupy taste is not what I'm looking for. So might just be a Modelo guy from now on. Kind of like the Pacific Coast as well. Mexican beer is fun time.
Mm-hmm.
But looking over at the NFC now, we got the Packers, who I think they clinched one, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
So the Rams, who are I'm not sure actually right now.
They're playing the 49ers, right?
They're playing the 49ers. They were up on them.
I don't know what the current score of that is.
No. I'm watching this Dolphins play. Sorry, guys. All right, a good old 6-yard run on first down. But, yeah, the Rams. Then we get into the Buccaneers, who are also in. The Cowboys, 12-5. The Cardinals. Man, just looking at this, AFC's they're in trouble, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me that thinks Kansas City will win just because Mahomes is so good.
You think the actual just Super Bowl in general?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they're the only shot the AFC has.
Yeah, I don't have any faith in the Titans without Derrick Henry.
Is he supposed to be coming back soon, though?
Is he coming back this year?
I think they were hopeful that he would be.
That could maybe change some things, but maybe the Bengals make a run at it. But
they have a fun offense.
They do, yeah.
I think. Out of all these other teams, the Bills, they have a good offense, but they just haven't looked like the Bills of. I guess Chase last year at least. Jamar Chase is very good. And they're 8-9. That's really. Are they 8-9? That's not a good look.
Who?
The Bengals.
10-7.
Okay. The Browns are 8-9, showing their who they're playing against record. Tie game actually. 49ers Rams 17-17. But you just go through those teams. I think the Rams have a viable. They could possibly definitely do it. Packers could. Bucks, of course, could. With Tom Brady, can never rule him out.
Dallas is
I think the Cowboys look really good, man.
I
hate to admit it. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I don't like the Cowboys. A lot of people do like the Cowboys, but man, they do look good. That offense is dangerous. Their defense has some really good stars.
Micah Parsons, beast.
Yep. Apparently, Trey Diggs is not actually very good. He's just an interceptor of the ball.
I know he gets burnt a lot,
yeah.
But he does get a lot of picks, too.
I think he gives up the most yards, over, I don't know. Anyways, he does get burnt, so.
He's the opposite of Sauce Gardner. They just throw at him all the time.
Yeah, and it's just a product of being thrown at,
yeah. Any of these top 5 teams in the NFC could go to the Super Bowl, and I would not be surprised if any of these teams win. Arizona.
They've looked really bad down the stretch, really, really bad. But Kyler Murray, maybe he wasn't healthy all year fully, but definitely have a shot. Most of those teams, so I guess we'll pick them now. Pick your AFC contender, your NFC contender, and let me know who's taking home the Super Bowl this year.
All right, AFC. I think I already said it, but just give me the Chiefs. If I was going to go with another team, it would probably be Buffalo, but they've just looked too shaky this year. Josh Allen hasn't looked as great as he has in the past. I know that you could say the same thing for Mahomes early on in the season, but he's picked it up. They just have a lot of weapons. The defense is playing a little better. I just don't have a lot of faith in any of these other teams. It wouldn't shock me if the Chiefs get upset, but...
Well, at the end of the day, it is pro football.
Right.
Anyone can win on any given day.
Yeah. I like Belichick. I like New England. I don't think they have enough talent this year. So, yeah, give me the Chiefs from the AFC. From the NFC, God, I don't have a ton of faith in the Rams. I think
it would be at SoFi. That's where the Super Bowl is. Or it might not be. I read a headline. I don't know what it meant. They said it might get moved, but...
I am an Eagles fan. I don't want to pick Dallas, and I don't want to pick Green Bay, so I'm going to go with Dallas from the NFC.
All right.
Playing really good. If I was going to pick another team,
Chiefs Cowboys.
Old school matchup.
Yeah, it is. I said it's new, but it's new to us, I guess. But yeah, it definitely has that old time vibe. definitely an old franchise in Kansas City. Same with the Cowboys on that old success. They're old money people. But I'll take those Chiefs, Cowboys, and who's bringing it home?
Chiefs.
Yeah,
okay. It's just Mahomes, man. I
Man.
think he's going to turn it on. He's the best player in the league, best offense. They say defense wins Super Bowls, but not in this case.
Yeah, it did last year. That was a sad Super Bowl to watch. I enjoyed none of it.
Should we touch on the Buccaneers a little bit? The situation in Tampa Bay with Antonio Brown going crazy on the sideline?
Man, what is up with him? Something has to be mentally off.
For sure.
There's no way. I don't know. They say that Vontez Burfict hit did it. That's what they say. They say it gave him CT right then and there, and not to make light of a. Honestly, I mean, it is a sad situation to see. He's going crazy, but maybe that's just his vibe. But man, ridiculous. All kinds of things coming out. I don't think we're not even close to the end of it either. I think it's going to keep going on. Apparently, he was shooting a music video recently. Shooting other kind of videos before the game as well. Sure. Well, no, actually music videos too.
Oh, he did a music video also?
He did a music video also, and also allegedly did a porno the night before in his room with some OnlyFans star. But, man, maybe it'll come out. We'll see. But it's not over this I
have a feeling there's going to be some lawsuits involved with that one.
Yeah. It's not over with him, and, the only thing that is over is probably his NFL career. I can't see him on the sidelines anytime soon.
No one wanted to put up with him, before Tampa Bay took him in. He can still play. Like, he's still talented.
He's obviously still good, yeah.
But I just don't know what team is going to take a chance on that type of locker room guy, so I would say most likely, his career in the NFL is probably over.
Yeah, and that hurts the Bucs going into the playoffs as well. I think he just had like a 10 and 110-yard receiving week the week before he left. So, and Chris Godwin's out for the season.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So they're definitely hurting there, but it is Tom Brady in the end. So you said Cowboys, Chiefs, and the Chiefs bringing it home. I guess I'll do my picks now. Going through these AFC teams, it is tough to pick. I'm actually kind of inclined to take the Bengals just because it would be. I mean, dude, they've looked good. Mm-hmm. Their offense is crazy good, and if any team's going to beat the Chiefs, that's how they would, is just a shootout, and they can go tit for tat. They have Tyler Boyd's their like third receiver basically. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Joe Mixon has had an all-pro kind of year. Their tight end's pretty good, too. I can't remember. Uzama, is that his last name? So
I like the Bengals. I'm kind of happy for the Bengals fans.
They deserve it. A good year for Cincinnati, man.
Yeah, I mean, we're relatively close to the team, and there's a good amount of Bengals fans here in Louisville. So good for them. They finally have a decent coach, decent quarterback. I think they're going to be a solid team for the years to come. As long as you have Joe Burrow, you should be fine.
Yeah, got to keep him healthy. I guess their own line has done enough this year. But yeah, let's make it fun. I'll go with the Bengals on the AFC, and then look into the NFC here. I can't take the Cowboys, man. It's in their blood to just screw it up.
That is true. Notorious chokers.
Yep, and I also just don't like them. To be honest. The Rams, man, I had a lot of confidence in them, and then I feel like they haven't played really their best football. They played like really good the first few weeks. Matthew Stafford was lighting it up, but haven't looked nearly as dominant.
They haven't played that many good teams, right?
No,
they're 12-4, but who have they played?
I mean, that division's good. With the Cardinals,
they beat
and also
the
Seattle.
They beat
Seattle's,
the Bears.
Yeah, they've been bad.
They beat the Bucks. They beat the Colts. Beat the Seahawks. They're kind of trash. Texans, Lions, lost to the Titans.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think I really even like the Super Bowl I'm picking here, but I'm gonna go with the Bengals and the Packers.
I think Packers are a good choice.
Yeah, their defense is worrisome, but man, playing it, they got home field advantage. They got a week off. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I would like to see him in another Super Bowl, definitely.
You think he retires if he wins?
I don't think it's out of possibility. I think he has a lot of good football left in him, but how much does he really want to play? I don't know.
Well, I know he doesn't want to play with the Packers anymore, so he's gone no matter what. I could see him coming. I think he'll come back. I don't think he'll retire.
I think he goes down to the Saints.
He's an MVP. Like how Saints, Steelers, Seahawks, somewhere like that.
It'll be fun to see him on another team finally.
Yeah.
That's one thing about like this day and age of athletes. Rarely does someone stay on the same team their whole entire career. I mean, if Tom Brady didn't do it, and no one's doing it anymore. So let's see him on another team. So let's go Bengals, Packers, and man, I can't pick.
You gotta pick the Packers, right?
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers. I think they take it away. Just too much experience on that side. So I'll take the Packers. You got the Chiefs. I guess we got no wager on it, but it's here. You all know. You all heard it.
It's all about the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Exactly.
Mahomes and Rodgers.
Yeah. All right. So let's get down into now the game that will be being played tomorrow. And to do that, well, first we'll announce the game. We have Alabama, Georgia, SEC Championship rematch in the college football championship game in Indianapolis. Will you be making it up?
No.
Yeah, it's not.
No, I'm gonna stay here. Not gonna drop $1,000 for a ticket. I think the prices have gone down a little bit.
Yeah, you could go to like a bar or something, but in the end, is it that worth it? Not really, probably.
Yeah, I also don't have a car, so I don't know how that would work. I'd have to go with someone.
That's a good point. Jackson's probably, I wonder if he'll be up there around there. I would imagine he would be. But that game will be tomorrow. It's probably late, as they always tend to be. But the rematch. Mm-hmm. As you know, we all went to Dallas. We watched the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. I think we had an idea going into it. That's how, if Alabama was going to win the game, that's how they're going to do it, pretty much. Cincinnati played them well. Definitely, it didn't look like they weren't supposed to be on the field by any means. They played with them. They just, in the end, in the trenches, that was Alabama's game plan, and that's just kind of how it went.
Yeah, it's kind of a cliche when people say the difference between SEC and non-SEC football is in the lines, but
it is.
Definitely true for this game. I mean, the D-line actually did get a little bit of pressure, but they just couldn't do anything about the run. And the opposite side, couldn't get any run game going, and Dez had absolutely no time whenever he dropped back to pass. He got sacked 6 times. I think he had like 4 balls batted down at the line of scrimmage.
It really felt like any important third down, it just was either getting batted down or he was getting sacked. So it was just never really got that cohesion on offense. The first drive looked great. Should have had a touchdown, batted down at the line. It was wide open. That would have been huge. The opportunities that you get against Alabama, you can't miss one of them. And tough plays that just didn't go Cincy's way. And in the end, it shows on the scoreboard, lost by 3 possessions. But would have liked to see him get in the end zone.
Yeah, for sure. The passes that Desmond did make, I didn't think any of them were wild or inaccurate necessarily. I'm sure there were a couple. But they just didn't. The receivers didn't have a whole lot of separation, and he had no time to throw, so he was just getting mauled. I don't know. The defense played better than I thought, especially the secondary. They did have a pick, and that actually came off some pressure. But tough when their running back has 27 carries for 200 yards or whatever it was.
Yeah, 26 for 204. Didn't have a touchdown, but ran whenever they wanted, really controlled the tempo of the game and just the game in general. With that, especially with the offense, it wasn't necessarily clicking. You need big plays against Bama too, for the most part. They're not a team that you'll be able to drive consistently on, and just didn't get enough of them. Didn't look like they didn't belong on the field. Definitely played them well and didn't embarrass themselves by any means, especially when you look at how those semifinal games typically go. You put Power 5 teams in there that are getting beat by, 5 touchdowns, just looking terrible in it. And just look at Georgia and Michigan, 34-11. And that game was never close. Yeah. There was never a time when it looked like Michigan had a shot. You think if Michigan goes to 4 and Cincy moves to 3 and Georgia stays at 2, I guess that's a lot. Put it this way: Georgia plays Cincy, Michigan plays Bama. Do you think they're closer games? I'd say the Michigan game, I think Michigan was 4. I think they really were. I think, man, I did this such an ass backwards way. But so say Cincy and Michigan play.
Cincy and Michigan? Yeah, I think Cincinnati beats Michigan.
I do too. That's the thing. And but I don't know if they match up as well with Georgia or not.
I don't think Cincinnati matches up well against Georgia at all. I think they match up better against Alabama.
Probably so. Nonetheless, Michigan gets beat 34-11. And we have the rematch now. And I guess we should start dissecting this by just looking at the first game, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
I watched the extended highlights today just to get a feel for the game again. And Georgia was up early.
Yeah, going at the end of the first half. Or at the end of the first quarter, excuse me.
Yeah, they might have been up 10-0. They were up 10-0 at one point. I know that. Bama ended up kind of putting it on them a bit. And Georgia came back, made it close. It was like 24-31 at one point, and then maybe a pick 6. I don't remember the exact bit of it, but it looks worse than it was. But still, you came away from that game knowing that Alabama is better.
Yeah, what's interesting is that game had a completely different game plan than the Cincinnati game. They really couldn't run the ball that well against Georgia, and that might just be a testament to how good their defensive line and linebackers are.
Yeah.
But Bryce Young threw the ball 44 times for 421 yards. That was their offense, throwing the ball. So I think the Mechie injury could have a bigger impact on this game than it did in the Cincinnati game, because you're going to have to pass. Georgia's defensive line is just so good that you're not going to be able to consistently run the ball like you did against Cincinnati.
Definitely, it's going to be a completely different game in how it's played. They do have, Alabama does have Ja'Cory Brooks, who was the leading receiver from the Cincinnati game, who's a freshman, scored touchdowns. That's basically who stepped in for Mechie. But that's definitely how I'm seeing it play out as well. I think for Georgia to win this game, there's a few things they need to happen. They can't have Stetson Bennett throwing the ball 48 times. And even though Bryce Young threw the ball 44 times,
he's the Heisman winner. He's much better than Stetson Bennett.
That as well. He only completed 26 of them. So Georgia needs to keep this a drive kind of game. It cannot be airing the ball out. It can't be 50-plus yard plays, because Bama's going to get more of those than you are. Bama's offense is built for the big play, and Georgia was getting burnt bad. That's where they really lost. They had a big kind of 10-yard dig that
Jamison Williams caught that
just
he just
took
turned
it
upfield, and the dude's got
That's what I mean. If that's what the game turns into, if it turns into the SEC championship, Stetson Bennett's going to do what he did again. It's going to be like a Kirk Cousins performance. Put up decent numbers, 29-48, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. It's not going to win you the game against Bama because, like you said, Bryce Young's going to do the same thing. but he's better with the ball. He's better than you, so you can't play his game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that they try to slow the game down a little bit, run the rock. Try to force Bama to play their game instead of the other way around.
They had good. They had pretty good running against Alabama. Their rush defense isn't great. Well, I think it is pretty good, but I don't know. It felt like
You're talking about Alabama's.
Since he broke some holes. The
difference.
Jerome Ford had 77 rushing yards. He averaged 5.1 yards a carry.
Yeah, but
they just couldn't. The game was already they weren't in a position where they could run because their defense didn't necessarily afford them that.
Have you seen the stat for how many yards they had in the first half?
Who?
Cincinnati, all purpose.
How many?
Take a guess.
It's like, well, they did probably 50.
50 yards?
Yeah.
It was 72, but that's still terrible.
Well, I knew it was low just because you were asking the question, but yeah. I think Georgia, who has a better O-line, who has, maybe not even better running backs because Jerome Ford is really good and he's going to get drafted, but a better duo of running backs with Zamir White and James Cook. They're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to slow the game down. And because Stetson Bennett can be really efficient. He can be a very good college quarterback. But when you ask him to play too far outside of himself, that's when you're going to get interceptions and run into trouble. And you just can't do that against this Bama team who I don't think they're going to be able to run against Georgia, but I think they're going to be able to throw the ball. And I think ultimately Bama does win this game just because they're the better team outright. I think when I talk through the game, there's too much of Georgia needs this to happen. Georgia needs that to happen for me to be confident in picking Georgia to win the game. Like Stetson Bennett has to play turnover-free football, I think.
Yeah, I think Stetson's got to play similar to how Mac Jones played last year at Alabama. Just be a game manager, and Mac was better than just a game manager, but be consistent. Don't turn the ball over. Get the ball to your playmakers. But Alabama has been pretty good as an underdog in the past. They have not.
Well, are they an underdog again?
They're a 2.5-point dog. Yeah,
that's insane. I might have to take that.
I'm
gonna have to put money on that one. I might have to put money on that one.
I think the stat is Bama has been an underdog in 6 games since Saban took over. They lost one game, which was the SEC Championship in 2008 to Florida, when Florida had Tim Tebow. It's the only game Saban has lost as an underdog.
Yeah, that's good. That was a good year.
Yeah,
Florida
good year
football.
for Florida.
Tebow.
Remember who was the defensive coordinator on that Florida team? Urban Meyer was the coach. Do you remember the defensive coordinator? Our boy Charlie Strong.
I was gonna say Charlie Strong.
Yeah.
I was like, I think it's Charlie Strong, but I didn't want to look too far off. But yeah, they were good then. Bama's just they're very good, but I do think it is possible. I think Georgia can win this game, and Brock Bowers, their tight end, he'll play a big role in it. He was insane, dude. Yeah, he had 10 receptions for 139 yards.
I think Georgia will try to bring more pressure on Bryce Young. Instead of letting him sit back and pick him apart, you got to bring some blitzes, something, because
you can't let routes develop.
Right. That if you can say like he has a weakness, that's his weakness. Like when he's getting pressure is when, and that's for any quarterback, but that's when the turnovers and the inaccurate passes come.
It's dangerous at the same time, though, because that's where he can really burn you, too, is when it becomes an unorthodox play.
Right.
Because he has that ability to keep the play going.
But they also don't have Mechie, so there's one deep threat that you kind of don't have to worry about. And, yes, you got
just
another
consistent
5-star
guy,
to take his spot. Yeah, I would have to go with the Tide as well. I think we win, but it's the score is a lot closer than the SEC Championship game.
What do you think? What's the spread? Have you looked at? Oh, you said 2 point. 2.5. 2.5.
Yeah.
I'll take Bama plus 2.5. I'll also take a money line in this one.
Yeah.
I think it's I don't know, man. Stetson Bennett doesn't do it for me. I think he's gonna make some risky throws when it matters, because I don't think they're gonna be able to dictate it. Especially with how the SEC championship went, and the big boys up front for Bama are coming off a big week running the ball. Maybe they get a little more push up front. National championship game, holding nothing back. I think this just is Bama's game.
Yeah, in the scenario that I see Georgia winning, it's a really low-scoring game. They don't let Jamison Williams make any huge plays.
Yeah.
They run the ball, control time of possession, and don't turn the ball over. If they can do that, then they have a chance. But I'm still taking Alabama.
Yeah, there is. There's too much that needs to go on. But yeah, I guess Bama does it. Brings it home from Indy. Bryce Young is a sophomore now. Is that what he is? Or is he a redshirt freshman? He's
redshirt sophomore? Hold on, let me see.
So we're gonna have.
I know this is his second year. I don't know if he's a sophomore. So I don't know if his freshman year. I don't know if he redshirted or not. Must not have. Yeah, sophomore. Think back-to-back Heisman? Think Tim Tebow performance?
Tebow didn't make it. He didn't get the second Heisman. He
didn't get second Heisman?
He should have, man. Sam Bradford got it. I remember watching and being like, damn, dude, Tebow should have definitely had that. But it was Sam Bradford. I wonder what those stats were. We'll have to look into those. But that's the championship. You have, I guess we both have Bama. I've got the Packers, and you have the Chiefs.
Yep. So we want to talk about like Desmond's potential future, where we would like to see him end up. Best case scenario.
Yeah, I haven't actually thought too much on it, but let's go for it. Let's hear your take first, and then maybe I'll bounce off of it.
So I think if I could pick, I would want to see him go to a team that has a good culture and also a spot where he's not expected to necessarily be the starter on day one.
It's a tough place to be as a rookie quarterback. I mean, just look at Justin Lawrence, coming out with all that he was claimed with. I mean, it's a different animal being the number one overall pick for the worst team in football, and I think they just confirmed they're getting
the number one pick again.
Number one pick again. So that's a testament in itself. But yeah, it's a tough place to be in, and I think Desmond would benefit. I mean, any quarterback would benefit from it, but
I think Atlanta is a good spot because you can go sit behind Matt Ryan for a year potentially. You don't have to start right away. You have some good weapons.
It's a cool place to be.
If Ridley comes back.
Kind of close to home.
Yeah. I think.
Terrible uniforms, though.
Beggars can't be choosers at this point. We'll take what we can get.
Yeah.
Just want to get our boy drafted. Also, Steelers would be sweet. Haven't had a losing season under Tomlin. That would be a good spot. I think the Saints would be awesome. I don't think they have any faith at all in Taysom Hill.
No, they don't. I think they're feeling the repercussion of that one.
Worst spot would probably be Houston or Washington. I don't know. I wouldn't want to go to either of those teams.
Washington, yeah, definitely not. They can't even put a stadium out there that's worthy of the NFL.
Stadium's falling apart. You got sewage pipes bursting on fans.
Did you see it? I just watched a YouTube video just on how shitty their stadium is.
I've never seen it.
There's no easy way to get in and out of it. There's no like the closest public transportation is like a mile away, so people literally will just walk a mile.
And they should just sell the team.
They should get the hell out of there. Apparently, their owner promised a new stadium in the next 7 years, but there's been no planning or anything. Apparently, he's just terrible. But no, the Redskins would be awful.
I think they're changing their name to the Commanders. That's the word on the street.
I saw a little glimpse of like the stitching of their new uniforms, like a little teaser, but haven't seen them yet. But yeah,
I would just stick with the football team. I think that's sweet.
It's better than the fucking
Commanders.
The Commanders, man. That's so
I guess you
terrible.
try to do something military based since you're in DC. It's not what I would have picked, but
Generals, I don't know. None of them are very good.
Generals is trash too.
Man, did Tampa just take a quarterback recently?
No, that would be fucking sweet. Go sit behind Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Actually, yeah, I take it back. That's my first pick. I don't think they would do that. They would have to take him like, I don't know, last. They're going to be toward the end of the first round, end of the order.
They picked Kyle Trask.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
He's better than Kyle Trask. Come on.
Kyle Trask, but I doubt they'll take a quarterback. I mean,
they probably won't. The Titans.
The Titans, maybe. Who else needs one?
Carolina would be good.
Carolina needs a quarterback. He could go to Detroit. They have 2 draft picks. Not the best organization if we're going based on that. But not as bad as Jacksonville, probably.
So, Tampa would be cool. I don't see that being really a possibility. Giants wouldn't do it.
Those Jets are pretty much the teams that need a quarterback, I think. Unless, like, Russell Wilson gets traded or something and the Seahawks need one.
Yeah. Man, I guess the eligible places, just going through this draft, who's taking a quarterback. We got the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
They had the 6th pick. It has them taking Matt Corral. He just got hurt, but Kenny Pickett going to the football team. That doesn't hurt my feelings. This has the Falcons taking a safety, but they're kind of up for debate. I don't know if they have the Steelers taking it. So out of those 3 teams, I would like them to go to the Steelers, definitely. It's a fun division of football. We'd be able to watch him at Cincy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Steelers. Yeah, let's do the Steelers. I've always partially rooted for the Steelers just because we had a family friend who were Steelers and they were in the Super Bowl growing up, so I would just root for them in the Super Bowl. I was never like a Steelers fan, but
I think that would be a sweet spot to land. You want a good organization. As long as you have that, then the rest of the stuff will work itself out. I mean, look at Mac Jones and
yep, exactly.
New England.
Well, I think that about does it. Bama tomorrow, Georgia tomorrow. We'll figure out something to do for that one. That'll be a fun one.
The Cats played well in their bowl game.
The Cats won,
Iowa.
Beat Iowa. That was a great game to send Wandale off with. And then I guess Will Levis is coming back.
Yep.
So maybe he can iron out a little of his inconsistency issues. But I think he ends up getting drafted too, dude. He just has the
cannon. Yeah,
he has a great arm. He looks really good throwing the ball. I question him as a person. He seems like a dweeb, kind of.
Because he does all the TikTok shit?
Yeah. I watched one today. I watched one today, or Dana showed me one today, and it was bad. I was like, man, that's embarrassing. But wins games, so I'm rooting for you, Will. Whatever, man. Do your own thing. I'm not hating. But Cats, I think will be good next year as well. Turning full into basically basketball season, college basketball season. And, the Bulls are doing really well right now. That's my college team. You'll be in Chicago, so you need to make it to some games, dude.
I know. The tickets got a lot more expensive this year, but I do need to go. It's on the list as well as a hockey game.
Yeah. Those both play at the United Center, don't they? Or does...
I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure.
That'd be fun. I need to get up there for one of those. They actually have a good team, like DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Kobe White,
Lonzo's bitch ass. Yeah.
Vucevic. I didn't like that trade last year, but it didn't necessarily help us much last year. But he's a good player now when we put some more talent around him. But
you just gotta beat the Nets, though. I don't know if they do that or beat.
I think they're first right now, but the Nets have their thing.
Is Kyrie just not gonna get vaccinated? He's just gonna do this the whole season. Like in the playoffs, he's just gonna play the away games. How does that make any sense?
I have no clue. Pretty silly.
Like, dude, just take the fucking shot.
He's losing a lot of money.
Collect your millions and take the shot. Like,
yeah. Well, I guess it is what it is. I think this is a good one here. It's good to get back. It's been a while. I haven't seen you guys in a while. I hope you've been doing well again at home. I guess we're going to watch some more football here. I think we might have some people over, play some Catan. I might actually jump in now. They've been playing a bunch, but I know how to play. I just haven't really joined them yet. But if they actually have the board, might join in. But I'm going to let you say your goodbyes, Owen. Thank you for coming on again, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was great to be here. Hopefully I'll be back in Kentucky sometime relatively soon, or who knows, maybe we'll be out in Vegas for the NFL draft.
Maybe we'll. That's April, isn't it?
Yeah, end of April.
Well, yeah, I'm going to have to – my bank account's hurting a little more than it usually is. I'm in good shape. Don't worry, guys at home. But, hurting a little more than I normally am after that Dallas trip. So Vegas, the turnaround, at least it's a few months out.
Yeah,
at this
we got
point.
some time.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah, thank you for coming on. Maybe we'll have something else to talk about during the week. Maybe we'll find something to dive into.
Sure.
So we'll see how it's going. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for listening. I love you all at home. Once again, thank you for listening. This is the Purple Podcast, episode 10.